shrine name saved for the king.
The game is yours to play now.
The light provides.
This is Eventide Radio.
Hello and welcome back to Eventide Radio. This is a fan-made Destiny podcast where we have roundtable discussions about a variety of different topics concerning the popular video game franchise. At its core, this show is about having in-depth discussions about the game from a variety of different perspectives. I'm your host, Scotty, and with me are co-hosts Rob and Robbie, and today we have a very special guest on. We have a community artist and developer, not for Destiny, but for other things. Sketch Matters, also known as Brice. So he's done some very cool artwork in the past. He's got a very cool Twitter page. That's how I found him. He's got a bunch of cool artwork, and he's quite talented, and we decided it would be nice to have him on the show. So, Brice, what you been up to this week in Destiny?
So I have been grinding for pinnacles mostly, because I'm trying to get to, what is it, 16,000 whatever.
Whatever the cap is.
Yes, the cap. I'm trying to get to cap so that I can do Master Vow because
Nice.
I really want the pin, and I'm running out of time to get it.
Got it.
Cool. So then we'll go through Rob and Robbie. We'll talk about what you guys are up to this week in Destiny. Then we'll interview you. We'll talk about some Destiny. So, Rob, what have you been up to this week in Destiny?
Yeah, so I finally got my third legend in comp, so now I'm officially unbroken. So that was kind of I did not think I was going to be able to pull it off, but at the start of Witch Queen, I was like, darn it, I want to earn this. So I finally got that third reset. And then I have been running Master King's Fall with my clan, and we've been able to do most of the challenges multiple times because there's like 8 or 9 of us that are trying to get the title. So there's a few of us that are running it twice each week, as brutal as it is. But we just did War Priest on Master, and it's pretty fun. It's definitely rough. We'll talk about King's Fall and Master and thoughts on that, and kind of the unfortunate rinse and repeat that the Master raids are kind of in the state of right now. But still, just been grinding, trying to get to 1600 as well, just so it makes that experience a little bit easier, because it's definitely like if you're below 1590, like you feel it, and it can be it can be pretty brutal. So yeah, you definitely got to grind. I know it can be done. Like one of our guys, I think, was like 1584, but we had him running div the entire time because that's like the only consistent way we could get damage output correctly. So
Sure.
but yeah, so doing a lot of comp, which I'm like, I need to take a break on PvP now for a while, and then doing some raids, and then getting kind of ready for GMs next week. So that's me.
Sweet. Robbie, what have you been up to this week?
I've actually been doing something kind of strange, and
Oh.
I know it has like it's gonna sound bad, but like I'm not the kind of guy who goes into game files and things like that, right? Also, I play on Xbox, but you guys know that I like to play guitar and record music and all those things, right? And one little project I've been doing is trying to record gun sounds from guns, to kind of do like a little Destiny little bit of remix kind of music thing. I don't know,
Like the old like gunsync videos for like Call of Duty and stuff.
but see, the thing is that, and please someone send us a tweet or something, but I have been having the hardest time trying to find a place in Destiny that has like no background noises, just to hear the sound of the guns. Like wherever you go, even if it's like a private PvP map or something, you'll hear like cracking pipes and this and that. So yeah, it's been like a bit of exploration here and there, trying to find like a quiet place in the Destiny universe, and I'm still yet to find it.
Cool.
That's so like philosophic, like trying to find a place that's quiet in the Destiny universe. It's like, yeah, when there's aliens constantly trying to kill us, I don't know if there is a quiet place in the universe. So
yeah, even when I'm alone, it's not quiet. Yeah.
I feel like you might have a good. You could probably go to the Vow Pyramid.
Oh yeah,
that might be quiet because like there's no. It's very, very quiet in the pyramids.
In like the hallways, especially between like encounters and stuff.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'll have to try that one. But yeah, it's some places that you even like, in your head you remember as being incredibly quiet. Once you're actually there alone and trying to do some recording, it's not at all. It's actually very surprising, and it
Yeah,
makes
there's
me
the
appreciate
ambient
more
noise
the
everywhere.
amount of like design that is thrown into like the spaces and having the sounds and all these things. It's great. I think Bungie always does amazing with noises.
I think King's Fall has some of the best because there's like constant like ambient screaming and like just sounds like things are just getting like murdered and shredded apart all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good, but it's
wild.
creepy. Yeah.
All right, so let's get to know you, Brice. So I won't speak for you, but I'm just going to ask questions. So who are you? And you just in a few sentences, just give us a brief background of who you are, and what your role is in the context of the Destiny community.
Yes. Should I start from the very beginning? Because like I have a very long history with like
Go
Bungie
for
games
it.
and stuff.
Go for
Yeah.
it.
Whatever, however you want to explain it, go for it.
I have a long history with Bungie games. Back when I was a kid, I started with playing video games on like the Game Boy, the original Game Boy, which I know that's not Destiny, but it is related to it.
Mhm.
Because I would play like a lot of Pokemon and stuff like that and other kids games. And my first experience with the Bungie game, what happened is I went to a family friend's house and they had two kids, and these kids had Xbox games and I didn't have an Xbox at the time. So they introduced me to a game called Halo Combat Evolved, and they immediately threw me into the flood level. Um
The library or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
it wasn't the library, it was the one before that, like I mean the flood level before
Okay,
the very first flood level.
gotcha.
Where like you see all this like you go through the map and like there's all this blood on the wall and you're like, what the heck happened here? They were very obviously trying to scare me, but it did not work because I fell in love with that game. I had grown up with all these kids games, so like this is the first like I guess real game that I played. Not real game, but a game with like a structured story and like characters and things like that. And it's not just something tailored to kids. And for
Sure.
me that changed everything because I freaking loved it. Um my mom was not happy to find out I had played an M-rated game when I was like 10 years old or whatever, but um so I after that I still didn't get an Xbox. So I had no way to keep playing it. But I found out that someone else in my family did have an Xbox and they had Halo 2. So I would go like every summer I would go to their house just to play that game, which I feel very guilty about now, but like I loved Halo 2. I would always go through like the flood levels and the arbiter levels, and it was just great. Like I have a soft spot in my heart for Halo.
Me too.
And then like later on after I played the heck out of Halo 2, I found out that they were making a new game called Halo 3. And
Finish the fight.
yes. And like that was the first time I had ever seen like a game currently in development, like because I mean like Pokemon doesn't really I feel like it doesn't generate the same amount of hype that Halo 3 did.
No.
Oh yeah. Halo 3 was like kind of a
Oh,
blockbuster
yeah.
event.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that was the first time I'd ever experienced something like that. So like
Mhm.
I finally got an Xbox, I finally got Halo 3, finally got my own Halo game. And so I played the heck out of that. And at some point I think I for the first few months I was only playing single player because I didn't have online multiplayer. But eventually I did get multiplayer or Xbox Live, and I started playing that, and I met someone in Halo 3, and his name is Sam, and like we've just been playing the Halo games ever since, and like he's awesome. He's amazing. Like he's the kind of person I want to be. It's
Mhm.
just so great.
Did you
But
play
yeah,
Reach?
yes, I
Wait,
continued on to
ODST? Are you gonna like skip over one of the best games ever?
ODST really is good.
It's
is
amazing.
fantastic.
I'm sorry, but I had to,
I know.
sneak that in.
I'm
'cause
sorry. You're right.
it does not deserve skipping.
I agree.
yeah. All right. Well, let me say this. So I got Halo 3, played that for a while, got Reach. Sorry, ODST is
Oh,
before
yeah.
Reach. Fuck. So yeah, I got my own Xbox. I got Halo 3. I finally had my own Halo game. And after that, I just kept playing more. Like I played Halo 3 ODST. I played Reach, and then eventually Bungie announced Destiny, and I was so hyped for that. I remember, like, I was tuned into every news post about it that they're making, like reading everything I could about what they were doing. I played that for a month. I did all the story stuff. I was there for VOG when that first dropped, and I essentially played Destiny for about a month before I had to go to college. So in a moment of panic, because it was my first time going to college, I ended up selling my Xbox so I
Oh,
couldn't play
no.
Destiny anymore. And then after that, I didn't play any of Destiny 1. I missed out on all the DLC stuff that I heard that was so great, and I still regret that to this day because I wish I had been there from the beginning. But at some point while I was in college, they announced Destiny 2, and I don't even know how that got on my radar, but as soon as I found out, I was like, "Okay, Destiny 1 was okay," and I didn't know anything about the DLC at the time, so I didn't realize how much it had improved, but I was like, "I wanna give Destiny 2 a chance. I wanna give Bungie a chance again," because I loved Halo so much, uh, and when I did play Destiny 1, it was fun, even though I didn't get to do a lot. Um, so I ended up buying Destiny 2 for the Xbox again. Well, so back in Halo 3, I had met a friend, who I've never even met in person, but we've been friends for, like, over 10 years. And his name is Sam, and he's great. He's an amazing person. At some point, we had exchanged phone numbers, and I think he, like, messaged me out of the blue and was like, "Hey, where are you? We haven't played in a while. Like, what are you doing?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'm just in college doing stuff and don't really have time for games anymore." Also don't have the money for an Xbox because at the time he was only playing on Xbox. Um, because all of his friends only played on Xbox. So he ended up buying me an Xbox because I couldn't afford it. Um,
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So when D2 was released, that's how I got it again because my friend had bought me the Xbox, and yeah, still love that. Yeah, so I got D2. I freaking loved it. I loved the Red War missions. They were fantastic. Still miss them. Yeah, I played that game obsessively. Like, me and my friends would always do Leviathan raids. I miss those too. They were great. Um, I never got to do uh what's the one with the Cabal guy? Crown of Sorrows, that's what it is. I never got to do Crown of Sorrows.
That's okay. You missed nothing.
Yeah.
So I've heard. But still, I wish I could have done it at least once, but
Yeah.
oh well. But yeah, anyways, yeah, we just kept playing all that time, and I played up until before Season of Dawn was released. Before that was released, I was like during the summer when I was still in college, but I was going through summer break.
Mhm.
I was playing Destiny like it was a full-time job. It was ridiculous. I was like, I remember grinding out for the Segura shell,
I remember
and
that too.
yeah, it was pain, but I did it. But then after that, like in combination of fatigue from playing this game so much and also the fact that I had to go back to school anyways, I just stopped playing Destiny again. Um, and I did not play it for several months. I missed out on Season of Dawn. I missed out on Shadowkeep. I missed out on Beyond Light, all those being released. The thing that brought me back to Destiny was I don't know where it came from, but I saw a video that Bife had made on Presage.
You mean my name is
Presage. I don't.
Bife?
Yes.
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 Sorry, it's a running joke. It didn't grow on me.
Yeah.
His name is my name is Bife. Yeah.
How dare you, Robbie?
Yeah, he made a video on Presage or however that's pronounced.
Mhm.
And I wasn't even subscribed to him at the time, so I don't know how I saw it, but I ended up watching it and like I loved it again because like um it reminded me of the flood levels in Halo, like all the spooky stuff. I loved it. I love seeing spooky stuff in Destiny. Like
Mhm.
like I constantly miss the haunted forest. I loved that stuff. That's my jam. But yeah, so I started watching those videos and like seeing like what the story was unfolding seeing what the story was as it was unfolding. Um and I still wasn't playing it. I was just watching those videos, but I was talking to my friends and they were playing it and they were talking about it and like so at the very end of I think it's Season of the Chosen that was called. That's when I joined back on Destiny again. And like I even bought the season pass just so I could get Dead Man's Tail because I freaking love those guns, those
Mhm.
rifles. They look really fucking cool.
Like the lever action ones or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, I didn't mean to curse.
Sorry.
You're good. We're not a clean podcast necessarily. So.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, Scotty is the mouth of a sailor sometimes. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Occasionally.
Yeah, so I got the season pass, finished like I started doing Presage. Love that mission. Miss that every day. And then I just kept playing and then like eventually at some point they announced Switch Queen and played that, like did Vow, all that jazz. And at some point I started applying to a bunch of like Destiny designs because I wasn't drawing a lot before then. Just kind of doing random stuff, drawing random stuff. And so I started applying to a lot of designs and I got into one called Paracausality, Destiny Tarot Design, and like joining
Yeah.
that design joining that one really like solidified my love of Destiny because like I met so many freaking cool people and made so many friends from that. Like we just constantly hang out and draw and yeah, they've been so supportive of me and just encouraging and I try to do the same back and
Hmm.
I don't know. I know there's a lot of bad stuff in the Destiny community, but there's so many good people and like these are people who have gotten me through tough times and stuff and I'm so grateful for it. And like I just have such a long history with this game. Like all everything together. It's just made me really I just love Destiny a lot.
Yeah.
It's done so
Absolutely.
much for my life and it's also the reason that I wanted to become like Bungie games in general are a reason I wanted to become a game developer. And like when I went to college for game design, which is I feel silly saying I got a degree in video games, but that's basically what I did.
Hey, I'm a film major. Same difference.
Yeah.
I won't make fun of you.
But yeah, so I went to school for game design and it's a tough industry to get into. Like I honestly did not think I would get in like become a game developer,
Mhm.
but I ended up getting hired by Bethesda and so now I work on games and it's amazing and I love my job and even though it's got some bad parts like being a game developer is both a blessing and a curse. But I love it and like I just have Destiny to thank for that. I believe.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So
That's cool.
when you were doing art and stuff, so once you joined that like community of like fellow artists, that kind of solidified your desire to keep making like Destiny specific art.
Yes.
Cool. That's awesome. I saw the tarot card thing. That was pretty neat.
Yes.
Those are pretty cool.
Yes. And I would also like to mention that they have prints for sale. Go buy them. Buy the cards as prints and they're great.
Those are
I love
some
everybody
impressive
in this.
artworks. Yeah,
Yes. I love everybody in this server. Like it's great.
that's cool. That's cool. Why do you in a few sentences? Why do you love drawing?
That's such a vague question.
It is kind of a vague question.
I don't know. It's just great to be able to imagine something and then put it onto paper. Like
Yeah, I get that. It's like an exercise of your creative force.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have a favorite piece that you've made?
Oh, not really.
My
There's like
personal
this.
favorite
Oh,
is Rolk. I like your Rolk piece that you made semi recently.
oh, thank you.
That is my personal favorite. I think that's super cool.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I will say I like the witness piece that I did recently is kind of my favorite, not because of how it looks, but like I spent a lot of time on that. I made it like I think in August or something, and like I mean I started it in August. I wasn't sure how to continue with it. It was giving me a lot of trouble. Um, and at some point, like when I started working on it again and like trying to sketch it out, like I thought this sucks. This is ugly. I'm gonna not. I don't want to make this anymore. I'm gonna ditch it. But like the people in the tarot card server kept encouraging me to keep going with it, and so I did. And like I just kept like adding on to it and trying to improve it. Like I drew some line art, but I didn't like it, so I just ended up restarting it, which everybody was like, "Don't do that. You don't need to do that." But it was like but like at that point I finally had a vision for how I wanted it to look, so it was like I have to do this. And like I would just spend all this time working on it while we were in voice calls in the tarot card server. And just being able to have both the feedback that I needed to make it look better and also have the encouragement I needed to keep going with it, like, that was amazing. I didn't get that with any of the other pieces I've done.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, so I think that is my favorite just for, like, all the stuff that happened before that, before it was actually
Yeah.
finished.
The experience behind it and the memories behind it, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yes. Yeah, I learned so much from doing that piece too, because I tried something new with, like, the line art and the painting color, and
Mhm.
it was great.
That's awesome. I have a kind of a weird question. As a non-artist, I feel like a lot of the artists tend to do this. They'll like you said, they'll just like scrap what they're working on and like start from scratch. And I
Yeah.
could never do that because I would have like sacrificed so much like time and effort that I just put into that. What compels you guys to like start anew? I couldn't do that personally.
There's a lot of art that artists do that just nobody else sees, like,
Oh yeah.
so, I mean, like, I've got sketches upon sketches upon sketches that just I doodled for either for myself or to improve or whatever, that nobody sees. So, I feel like it's the same with, like, not full illustrations, but, like, bigger stuff, like starting an illustration and then just giving up and moving on. Sometimes things just you're either doing it for yourself, so it doesn't matter anyways, or like it's not working, so you want to move on and not waste too much time on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure.
That's awesome.
So, Rob, if you want to take this question, you wrote, what inspired
Yeah.
you to do certain work?
Yeah. So I think you've kind of answered some of this, but like there's something you posted on August 16th of like the ribbon. I'm gonna butcher this, the scrunklies, where it's like
I
the
saw
that
it.
that goofy like wet cat, and then you kind of imitated it with ribbon.
Yes.
So like I've noticed that your art sort of spans a pretty like wide gamut. Like you've got things like the witness or Rolk that are like beautifully detailed stuff, and then you also have like, which I would also argue that this Riven Scrunklies is also like gorgeous, but it's like the kind of like the style is kind of different than some of those more, I would say, like elaborate ones, and I think they're all equally important and wonderful. But like, what kind of like inspires you sometimes? Like, would you like? I'm assuming you saw the meme and then kind of like just kind of went with it and did like this kind of silly Riven thing. But like, is that is that kind of sometimes what inspires you, or do you sometimes set out to have these kind of more elaborate, like very full pieces, or is it like you said, sometimes like you start with art and then no one ever sees it because you're just not happy with how it turns out, and like kind of what's your motivation, I guess? I know that's a very loaded question as well, but like when you see certain things, does that inspire you to say, hey, I can make some Destiny art out of this, or art in another kind of category? Like what's the yeah, I guess what's the driving motivation for some of this art? Because I think it's all fantastic, and it's just kind of neat to see like what goes on in your brain and how you sometimes will turn something into one style of art and then something into something completely different. Um, I know maybe that's like a weird question to ask, but
No,
uh,
it's legit.
so yeah, like
Um,
what's your motivation in life?
um, a lot of my motivation for stuff like Scrunkly Riven is just shit posts.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, like I've done this for years. I love taking characters and just inserting them into memes and shit posts. I think it's
Okay.
hilarious. It's literally just for the laughs.
just for fun, yeah.
Yeah, like like illustrations. One, they take a long time. So they take a long time. So I don't always want to work on them.
Right.
So in between illustrations, I'll like doodle silly stuff like Scrunkly Riven, just
Okay.
for the fun of it. Um,
Break from
and
the
then,
main project.
Yes.
yeah,
Okay. That
exactly.
makes sense. Okay. Love it. That was
Cool.
that's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, just like because I appreciate both of those kind of styles of art. Again, the very elaborate, like full pieces. But then like my dad was an art teacher, and so I always appreciate art to a very like severe level, I'd say. Like I have an eye for it. And I am no shy person of doodling and doing art myself, but I am always in awe of like the elaborate pieces like the Rolk or the Disciple one that you've done recently. But then I also really love, like, I call this sometimes like kind of like cocktail napkin doodles. Like I love this kind of just off the cuff stuff, but knowing that it's like how do you break up stuff, and also your way of entertaining yourself with shit posts makes me very happy. So thank you.
At the same time, though, like the Riven one is like still like it looks like there's a lot of effort went into that.
Oh
you
yeah,
know? Like
absolutely.
Yeah.
it's still like pretty detailed for a shit
No,
post.
but it
impressed.
like when I saw it, I just started because like I've been
Oh, I
kind of
love it.
going through your art just to kind of familiarize myself with what you do. Then yeah, when I see these like again super elaborate pieces, and then I saw this, I'm like, this is amazing. Like you got to like draw attention to both things because they're all it's all wonderful. So thank you.
Thank you.
Did you see the popsicles?
Yes, the popsicles are cool too. Yes,
I love it.
yeah,
That's awesome.
A
I like
lot
how
of
they're all melty.
yes.
Yeah, a lot of another thing is a lot of these shit posts that I've been making recently, they they just like pop out of nowhere in conversations with people I have in the tarot card server. So like
Okay.
That makes
yeah,
sense.
like we'll just be talking about random stuff or memes or whatever, and like ideas will just pop up, or like someone will send a meme and I'll be like, oh, I gotta draw that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's really cool.
I can get that.
Yeah, so friends are also an inspiration for those.
That makes sense. All right, Rob, take it away.
All right.
Time for the fun questions.
You know, we gotta grill you about your actual Destiny nerdity, which you have. So your story is wonderful, and I think one of the cool things is someone like you, where you know I think all of us have kind of a very rich history with Halo. So it's nice to kind of get that from another person, because you know some folks like Destiny is their kind of first foray into Bungie, and then I'd say there's kind of the old school folks who've like like at some point they played CE
Marathon.
over at like a cousin's house, and then like that changed their life, you know, and so it's
how it starts.
Yeah.
that's how the seed gets planted. And so to kind of hear that throughput of like, yeah, Halo 2 like changed your life, and then Halo 3 was like, you know what, it can't get better than this, and then everyone's got kind of a potentially, you know, complicated history with D1. And then to kind of hear you took a break and then came back to D2 and all of that, like that's all fantastic and awesome. So you answered the question of like, you know, how long have you been playing, which is basically from day one, just at different times.
Yes.
I think the most important question that we have to know is, are you a hunter, warlock, or titan main, and why?
This will determine whether
Yeah, and just
This
so
will
you
end-
know,
this will end the podcast
just so you
right
know,
now.
this is one questions where there are actually wrong answers. Just
I am a warlock main.
yes,
Right on. Okay.
Oh,
You've pleased the
Yeah.
general majority.
Yes.
Not me, though.
It's all right. And then, what's your favorite raid and why?
Bow.
Why?
Rolk.
That's
That's
a
an
great
acceptable
answer.
actually. Yes.
But
Do you-
but for real though, like, well, Vow was the first raid I did when I came back to Destiny. So
Okay.
it was also the first raid where I've done day one. I've never done
Oh.
day one for any other raids except, I mean, I did day one for King's Fall, but we never even beat that. But yeah, like Vow, everything about Vow was just fantastic. Like it was my first D1 raid or day one raid, I meant to say. um it was like we got a whole new brand spanking new character who like wasn't one of the established species, alien species. And like
Mhm.
I thought that was amazing. And like it's in a giant pyramid and there's a giant worm there. Like the whole aesthetic of the raid is just amazing to me. Um and like this is gonna sound silly, but like I would live there. I would live in the pyramid. It's great. I love that. I love the spooky vibes. I love everything about it. It's just fantastic.
Great. That's cool. That's
With-
a perfectly acceptable answer. And yeah,
I'm still processing the fact that you live there. I'm trying to picture myself living
I
in
don't know.
the
I don't know how that would work, but
I'm sure you can make a bed somewhere. I mean, it's kind of like, to me, the it feels like an exhibition or like a museum.
yes,
So I could see that. That's fair. I like it.
one of the encounters literally is called an exhibition.
Yeah,
So
that's true. Yeah, that where you have to do all the different relics. So yes, you're correct.
The real
Uh,
question is if you'd be a nighttime security guard for the Vow Museum.
night at the Vow Museum.
Yeah.
Be kind of fun to make a video short of that. I guess
That
then
would
kind
be
of a follow-up question, since you said you're warlock main. Now that we've had all of the kind of revamped subclasses, what's your favorite like subclass? What do you like to play as a warlock?
Uh, since I started D2 and even up until now, I've always been a void main.
Okay.
I freaking love the Nova Bomb. I just love chucking a giant ball of death at enemies. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's fair.
Cool.
Wait, Rob, what do you main?
I think I'm kind of a void lock myself. Like when Void 3.0 came out, I have not really taken nothing manacles off
Ooh.
since then. And it breaks my heart because I'm convinced that nothing manacles is bugged because I have not gotten a roll above like 60 on every pair of nothing manacles that I've had drop has not been above 60 for like the base roll. So I'm convinced they're bugged, and everyone in my clan has like terrible like 57, 59. So I think they're broken, but they're still my favorite exotic. And they were my favorite exotic in D1 as well. I love the scatter nades and having the double charge, and I think they're just like awesome. So yeah, I'm a void lock myself, so I respect that answer.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Destiny expansion?
Ooh.
Witch Queen, hands down.
Oh, really? Fair
Yes.
enough.
Yeah, it's important to me because it's I mean, it's part of the reason I was able to get into the tarot card server.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not let me start that over. Sorry.
It was
Um,
that era.
yeah, like it just like Witch Queen just introduced so many new things. That like just like Vow, like um, we got new stuff like the Lucent Hive, which I've never seen before, and I don't know. Like I did the Witch Queen campaign with my friend Sam, and at that time we hadn't been playing games a lot, I think. Um, so I don't know. It was just a blast to be able to go through the story with him and like see something new because before that we were just going through the Halo campaigns again, but we've
Mm-hmm.
both done that like a billion times. So it was kind of just the same old, but finally got to do something new with Witch Queen, and I love that because we had never really played the other expansions together. Although I think we did go through Shadowkeep and Beyond Light. But that was after the fact. Like it wasn't when it had dropped and it was brand spanking new. Like for him,
Yeah.
he had already done them because I hadn't played them at the time, but he had done them, so he was just carrying me through it. But I don't know.
Yeah.
There's just like so much was going on for me during the Witch Queen stuff, and it just ended up becoming really important for me. It like I don't know. It's part of what encouraged me to join the tarot card Zine, because like the art for it is beautiful, and it was motivating me to draw more. Like I want to be able to make cool stuff like that. And so just in an effort to draw more because I wasn't drawing very much at the time, I ended up joining all these designs and like I already said with the tarot card stuff.
Hmm. Absolutely. So it's got some like, emotional meaning,
Yes, exactly.
connection for you.
Very
Yes.
cool.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So should we talk about Destiny in general
Yeah.
right now? All right. So,
Yeah.
how you been enjoying season of the pirate? What is it called?
Plunder.
Season of the pirate.
I haven't been playing too much of it. I only recently started like going through the story stuff. Um I think I'm kind of just taking a mini break from Destiny because like we've had all these other great seasons. Like Season of the Haunted, I freaking loved. I love the spooky stuff, so
Fair enough.
that was right up my alley. And the pirate
Yeah,
stuff is
I was
great.
going to ask about that when
Yeah.
you mentioned the spooky stuff.
Yes. The pirate stuff is great. But I haven't been too invested just because I need like a break before all the what's it called? Lightfall. I need a break before all the Lightfall stuff.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
that
I
makes
just
sense.
been really chill about it. Not really paying attention to the story, but I still play I've still been going through that, so
Sure. It's a good time to take a break, I feel like.
Yeah,
yes.
agreed.
Yeah,
Not
it is.
necessarily in a bad way, just like it's a good time to take a break.
Yeah.
What about you guys, Robs? The two Robs.
Well, we talked about this a little bit, like a couple weeks ago, talking about our thoughts of Season of the Plunder. As it turns out,
Changed at all?
as it turns out, the main punchline where we're trying to find parts of Nezarec and put them back together, or not put them back together, even though we're putting them in vials right next to each other. Spoilers, by the way, if you're not caught up on the season. But like that's kind of cool. There's definitely some cool reveal. Like we knew there was going to be some kind of big reveal, and it's like, yeah, his Mithrax's mom went into the pyramid and found the corpse of Nezarec and cut him apart, which is kind of creepy. And then was like Mithrax was wearing his finger around his neck, and like that gave dark powers and all that. Like that's kind of cool and creepy. Again, I don't romanticize pirates and stuff, so it's like, yeah, it's kind of cool. The weapons are kind of an interesting design, but like in general, I'm not a huge like. It's a filler season. That's very apparent. And I think if King's Fall wasn't out right now, I probably would be a little more disconnected. But I really, really like King's Fall. And the things that they've done to kind of fix the weapons from D1 have really kept me engaged this season, but it's mainly because of King's Fall.
Yeah, raids usually keep people invested. It makes sense.
Exactly, and I think it was like this was the right season to have it come out for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Balances out the not much else going on.
It's not a bad season. It's just like you pointed out,
just a
Brice,
season.
like the previous season with having kind of the haunted, spooky, the going back to the Leviathan, but it's like haunted is so cool.
Yes.
That it's like kind of a stark contrast coming to this where it's kind of goofy, silly, like we're pirates, our matey, like it just it's hard to get as into when we had such like a strong emotional kind of gut wrenching season, last season. So it's like it's not bad. It's just it's a filler season. So
Yeah. Sometimes
Robbie,
you need those.
yeah, exactly. I mean, breaks are healthy.
Yes.
yeah.
Robbie, what about you? Has your
I-
opinion changed at all since
No,
last time we
I-
discussed this?
No, I think I'm completely in agreement with Rob on this one. It does feel like filler in a way, and maybe they tried to do like a bit of a palate cleanser from all the darker narrative and all of that, which is fine, and it's fair. I also don't like pirates that much, so maybe that's another reason why I just don't get into it that much. But I feel like for me, at least, the one thing that has kept me from like playing, and actually I feel like it's a good thing. And I know it sounds bad, but like they made something to stop me from playing as much, is like the amount of red borders needed and all that stuff. It has made me realize, like, yeah, I probably don't need that weapon. And so
Yeah.
I just like stopped chasing them, because before, maybe chase a roll, and then after, okay, chase the red borders. But like now is literally like, it's just too much. And
It is too much.
it's I don't know, I guess it lost the appeal for me a little bit in this season specifically. So,
That's fair.
I'm with
yeah.
you. It's just there's too many. Like, I don't care enough to get that many red borders.
Yeah.
There's just too many steps.
I think, and this is kind of a problem with this season. I think there's like, if there's a particular weapon, like you really like the tarnished metal, then you can kind of target those red borders and craft that weapon because you really like the way it feels or something. They've kind of taken the targeting out of it, although with the patch that's coming out, they're going to add it. But like, I think that to me feels like kind of what the intention of red borders are, is like, if there's a particular weapon that you really like and you want the best form possible, then you go after red borders of that so you can eventually craft it. And if it's like, well, I don't really care about the shotgun, or I don't really care about the heavy machine gun, then you don't craft it, and it's fine, you move on. But I think that's kind of what crafting should be all along, is like, if there's that particular weapon that really kind of calls out to you, like, do you like the way it feels or shoots, or the reload animation is awesome to you, like whatever it is, like, then you can kind of target that. So it's I agree, it's like you probably shouldn't have to craft every single one of them, it's just the one that you want.
But I guess it's just like we have been so, I don't know if I don't know the right word, but we have been, let's say, educated to believe that like you have to have it because you don't know next season or the season after, that weapon will be like the most amazing thing, and now you missed out. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a big part of the game, honestly. Like acquiring things. In the end, it's a shooter. That is a looter shooter. So we're all trying to get loot out of it and fill out balls with like nice shiny things. But yeah, I don't know. It's definitely more time consuming than it should be, and for some reason or another, I just don't find seasonal activities as appealing.
Sure. Well, Brice, thank you for coming on and chatting. I believe that is all we have for you today. But thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Robbie. And thank you, Rob, for coming on and chatting with me as usual. And without further ado, we will see you guys next episode.
Ciao.
You can put this voice recording away and go on with your life, because you and I both know you'd have me yapping in your ear for the rest of your days.
Want to further the discussion? Get in touch with us at any of our Twitter handles, all of which can be found at our podcast description.